In Freida McFadden's psychological thriller novella, The Housemaid's Wedding, Wilhelmina Millie Calloway is preparing to marry her loving fiancé, Enzo Accardi, at Manhattan City Hall while several months pregnant with their first child, looking forward to starting a clean slate after a lifetime defined by severe trauma and hardship. A decade earlier, Millie spent 10 grueling years in prison for killing her best friend's sexual assailant, an act that caused her cold, status-obsessed parents to completely disown her and cut off all contact. Following her release from prison, Millie struggled to rebuild her life, working as a domestic housemaid for wealthy families in New York while secretly using her dark past, resourcefulness, and physical strength to covertly help severely abused, desperate wives escape their violent, controlling husbands. On the morning of her wedding day, 4 hours before the ceremony, Millie is awakened in her apartment by a persistent phone call from a blocked number. When she answers, an aggressive, enraged man threatens to hunt her down and murder her. Assuming it is simply an empty scare tactic from one of the vengeful husbands whose marriage she recently helped dismantle, Millie hangs up and lies to Enzo, claiming the call was merely an annoying telemarketer because she is fiercely determined not to let any outside conflict ruin what is supposed to be the happiest day of her life. While getting ready in the cramped restroom of a nearby coffee shop wearing a modest blue dress, Millie receives a phone call from her estranged mother, whom she had reached out to months earlier after discovering her pregnancy in the fragile hope of reconciling her fractured family. Instead of offering warmth or congratulations, Millie's mother launches into a cruel, vitriolic tirade, refusing to attend the wedding, calling Millie an unmanageable disappointment, and viciously berating her for marrying a blue-collar immigrant plumber just because she got pregnant out of wedlock. Paralyzed with grief and fighting back tears, Millie is unable to speak, prompting Enzo to intervene, taking the phone from her hand to passionately defend his bride, telling Mrs. Calloway that they never want her toxic, spiteful presence in their lives or in the life of their unborn child, and slamming the phone shut to permanently sever all ties with her family. Moments later, the anonymous stalker calls Millie's phone once again, chillingly proving that he is watching her in real time by accurately describing her simple blue dress, detailing how he cannot wait to see her blood spilled across it, and revealing that he is an abusive husband whose life fell apart after Millie convinced his wife to flee with their children. The caller aggressively insists he is standing right outside the door, waiting to end her life. But a terrified Millie manages to slip out safely, rejoin Enzo and their loyal friend Paul, and travel directly to Manhattan City Hall to proceed with the legal ceremony. While sitting in the crowded, bustling waiting room waiting for their row number to be called, Millie experiences a profound moment of peace, healing, and deep emotional clarity when she feels her baby kick inside her womb for the very first time. Shortly after, Millie and Enzo stand together before the judge, exchange heartfelt vows, and are officially pronounced husband and wife. The narrative then masterfully connects back to the book's violent prologue, which depicted a claustrophobic, brutal struggle in a locked public restroom where a panicked man with a shattered, bleeding nose was beaten within an inch of his life. The final epilogue reveals that Enzo, having quietly noticed Millie's intense anxiety and hypervigilance throughout the entire morning, had immediately deduced that one of the dangerous, abusive men from her past was hunting her. Before the wedding vows took place, Enzo quietly tracked down the stalker inside the City Hall building, cornered him in a private restroom, locked the heavy door behind them, and brutally assaulted him, breaking his nose and repeatedly slamming his head against the hard tile wall until the weeping husband swore on his life never to look for or approach Millie ever again. Enzo left the terrified, bleeding man unconscious on the restroom floor before calmly walking down the hall to marry the love of his life, ensuring that his new family was permanently protected and allowing Millie to step into her future cherished, safe, and entirely free from the shadows of her past.